Some have pointed to public employees and their right to collectively bargain as a cause of their state's fiscal problems. This is nonsense. To govern is to choose. And some governors across the country are making damaging and tragic choices. And these choices are being obscured by the relentless attacks on public employees and on collective bargaining.
I don't understand how repealing collective bargaining rights for public workers shows us anything about state debt. How much money does it save, Governor?
Just that particular part doesn't save any.
Okay, that's right.
It's not about what's best for the state. It's not about saving money. It's about getting rid of unions.
I don't think that it can be understated what we do for the state, whether it's healthcare nurses, whether it's our home care workers, whether it's a state employee like myself.
In our contract, we have issues regarding mandatory overtime, safe staffing needs for our residents, to keep them safe and to help us maintain safety.
I brought my son to the rally today. I wanted him to see what labor movement is all about. I wanted him to see the middle class worker fighting for their rights. I wanted him to see what happens in Wisconsin when democracy rules.
I think this is huge. I think it's hitting at a core value in America, the right of workers to bargain.
We're going to fight this fight until the day after we win. And then we're going to start gearing up for the next fight, because we know that the attacks against workers' rights and against working families will never stop.
I'm here today because I love kids. I want to save our schools. I hate to see the clocks turn back.
I think they're trying to destroy public education. And I don't think it's so much that it's education, but rather an attack on unions. They're just using education as a ploy.
We must hold our government accountable to what the Constitution calls for, a quality education for our children.
We fight in collective bargaining to lower class size. We fight to lift up our profession so we can lift up our children.
Public education is under attack. Let every legislator know that if they vote to harm working men and women and public education, they will not get elected in their next term.
Texas faces tough decisions concerning the state budget. They can take a balanced approach that includes revenue instead of just relying on cuts. The use of the rainy day fund.
So does Representative Castro support using the rainy day fund?
And the representative is supportive of that.
I'm fighting for education. There are cuts in mental health and special needs children, and a lot of their services will be cut.
We need our class size, capped where it's supposed to be. We need to save our teachers. This is the way we have to get our voice heard. So, there's no way that they can miss this presence here today.
Without our bus drivers, our kids can't get to school. Without our cafeteria employees, our kids are not fed.
We are here today because we believe in public education.
There's a war going on, and it's taken the form of cuts to education to pull the ladder of opportunity out.
We are here at Temple University today because we care about education.
Well, we're rallying against the outrageous 50% budget cut that the governor has proposed for Temple University.
And let us not forget that this fight is also to protect our rights.
I don't think it's about budget. I think it's ideology. I think it's trying to take away the power of labor.
When a governor like Governor Corbett takes an axe to Temple University, that is a governor that is hurting the students today and for the generation of leaders tomorrow. We will be one, community and labor together. Are we one? We are one. We are one. We are one.
They say come back. We say fight back. They say come back.
We say fight back.
We need to stand up for our underpaid and underappreciated teachers. We need to fight against
are fighting for our rights and fighting for our kids and our future.
I'm not a union member, although sometimes I wish we had a union for moms. We cannot let this budget crisis be solved on the backs of the middle class and children.
Working in a school is completely different than in a corporation, and we do need a contract where we can collective bargain.
Ohioans rely on teachers who make a difference every day in our lives and in our children's lives. Governor Kasich doesn't think it's worth the time to listen to these workers. He's got to be sick. But I'd say to you, we will not be silenced. We will not go away. We will win this battle. Fight on, fight on, fight on.
The battle in Wisconsin, battle in Ohio, they're trying to, in many ways, demonize the profession of teaching. And we have to therefore eliminate collective bargaining.
Correct. What the rap becomes, you know, a teacher is more important than any other in-school factor. And then we shut down anything that teachers really need to do their jobs, including their union. So if we really think that teachers are the most important in-school factor, then all these folks that are trying to get rid of collective bargaining should actually be sitting with us trying to figure out what teachers need to do their job.
Education cuts have got to go.
Our members are out here today because they feel like nobody in Tallahassee is listening to them. In spite of 4 years of very significant budget cuts, they're trying to balance the budget on the backs of school children and school employees, and it's just not necessary. There are other measures they could take to help balance the budget without hurting our schools.
We need to educate the community on where we're at within the state, within our legislature, within our Senate.
Oftentimes, teachers are the ones paying attention. They know what's going on. They have to speak up and let our legislators know that they're not doing the right thing.
We're not putting enough money into education, and it will affect our future, our children. It's going to affect the whole economy.
No more cuts! Honk your horn!
I hope that the people driving by can read these signs and honk their horns. Enough is enough. No more cuts to public school education. And hopefully they will pick up the phone, they will send an email, and they will go out to vote.
Seems that I can hear the God of the universe saying,
these days, everyone at least pretends to honor the memory of Martin Luther King. People very rarely notice that on the day that he was assassinated, what he was doing was trying to complete the job, because he understood that you have to have some basics that give you some economic equality, some political equality, and at the core of that is labor rights and collective bargaining.
Collective bargaining can also be used as a way to share responsibility in terms of all these budget issues and as a way to increase quality. And my union has spent the last several years using collective bargaining in city after city after city to try and ensure quality of education for all kids. And now in Wisconsin and Ohio and even in New Jersey, people understand why it's important. Our job is to take that moment and turn it into a movement that will be ensuring the legacy of Dr. King.